Welcome back from the break. As promised, I have my first guest, Nidhi Trehan. She is a political sociologist, holds a PhD from the London School of Economics and Political Science. Isn't that cool? She was recently a visiting scholar at the LBJ School of Public Affairs, UT Austin, and a widely published author in the areas of human rights and social movements. She is part of Texas core team of Desi Blue. So welcome Nidhi to the show. I'm so excited to get into our favorite topic, elections.
Thank you. Thank you, Seema. And if I can just give a little background on Desi Blue real quick. So we have 3,000 volunteers all across the US, and we're very active. We have chapters in over 25 states. And especially, I would say, for this particular election, we're focused on the swing states.
Cool. Thank you so much for doing such fabulous job bringing awareness for the decided, undecided voters for the South Asian communities throughout the nation. So God bless you all for volunteering so much of your personal time. So we need you. We need you. So let's just dive into our first question that we are covering with you. And that is, what's your take on COVID management? We are in the midst of the pandemic, right? So how do you think this will play out in 2021? And what does 4 more years look like to you?
Yes. Well, this has been a very serious issue from the beginning, okay? And I think all of us, regardless of the composition of your family, whether you have elders in the home, whether you have children, and whether you're working outside the home or working from home, we've all been so impacted by the COVID crisis, as you know. And unfortunately, you asked me how I would characterize it. I would actually characterize it as malicious incompetence. And there could have been so much more done and so much more earlier. The very first thing I would say is public information, just communicating with the public. And you know, Seema, you know very well, being in the media world, how important communication is. But getting those public service messages out to the public about wearing your mask, okay, about the dangers of COVID and how it spreads. It's an airborne disease, right? So all this type of information, and then with our healthcare workers, our frontline workers, getting our PPE, the protective equipment for them in time, okay? And this has been, really horrible from the beginning, I have to say. And there's been, sort of incompetence from the get-go. So what can we do, moving forward now that we've been through this real traumatic experience? And, many people have lost their loved ones. So let's not forget that we're hitting almost close to 215,000 Americans who have died of COVID prematurely, okay? And these deaths could have been saved, okay, with timely intervention by our government officials, okay? And I have to say that from the federal level, meaning starting from Trump in the White House, going down to state level, going down to local level, there has been mismanagement. To the credit of many of our local folks, all over, the local officials, I think, have been on the front lines, have been almost begging the federal government, state officials have been begging the federal government to put resources to prevent the loss of life with COVID. Yeah. Absolutely. And then I would say going forward, if we have 4 more years of this kind of incompetence, we will see more death. Okay, and our economy, that's the other thing. When you don't contain COVID, it has a horrible impact. It has a knock-on effect on the economy. So many people have lost their jobs, as a result of not being able to go out and, conduct business.
So how do you think we can get rid of this chaos, restore some stability?
Yeah, absolutely, Seema. Wonderful question. I mean, first of all, if in my opinion, and of course I'm biased because I am a Democrat, I'm a solid Democrat, and I'm a progressive on top of that. So what I would say is we definitely need a change of government starting from the top in the White House. And for that, the Biden-Harris ticket offers us so much hope, Seema. Just so much hope with a sense of normalcy, bringing back a sense of good government, solid leadership, listening to science, wearing a mask, and rolling out a vaccine that everybody can access, right? So that's the other thing, is we want a universal vaccine. We just don't want some wealthy persons to have access to it. We want everybody, every American across the board, and everybody in the world, actually. So we have to go back to working with WHO, with the World Health Organization, work in an international team effort. I would say work with the German scientists, the British scientists, the Israeli scientists, the Indian scientists, and come together and have a vaccine that can be rolled out. And meanwhile, while we're waiting for the vaccine and we're waiting for the scientists to bring that about, we have to be very careful. We need a federal masking mandate, and that would have saved so many lives earlier on, okay? And then all the other precautions with schools, with businesses, with other office places which are open right now. So taking those precautions and social distancing, all that, we need to continue that.
Absolutely. We are in this together. The whole world has to unify and come up with the solution. Absolutely. And a good leader, a stable, honest leader who cares about our country would definitely do that. And I can see Biden Harris totally doing all of the above. Thank you. Excellent. And that kind of is a segue to my next question, is about how is this going to affect our healthcare system? Because all these people who were affected by COVID will have pre-existing conditions now, which if the healthcare changes, they're not going to be covered. So what do you think our healthcare system looks like? And Obamacare, what if Obamacare goes away?
Yeah, and these are also excellent questions. I mean, one of the real terrible realities that COVID brought to light was just how poor our public healthcare system has been. Barring a few cities like New York City and some other cities, if we look at America as a whole, our public health care system has faced neglect in terms of investment over the years, okay? And our response to COVID, generally, that was another reason why it was so difficult, okay? Now, in terms of other issues like our Obamacare, Affordable Care Act under Obama, unfortunately, the Trump administration has rolled back many provisions. And if Trump is reelected, then the Republicans have decided to roll back even further on the provision. So one of the ones I'd really like to mention for the younger crowd who's listening is that provision for students up to the age of students and your son or daughter up to the age of 26. You are covered under the parents' health care. This is under Obamacare, and this was an extension of Obamacare. So that will be rolled back. Okay, and so that's under threat right now. Secondly, what you mentioned, Seema, absolutely.
A lot of times you don't have stable healthcare when you start a job, and you are still in school. I mean, for heaven's sake, lost.
Exactly, and that was a great coverage. That was a great umbrella coverage given to young folks. And the second thing I would talk about is even for older people, for senior citizens who are on Medicare. There is a proposed, cutting of some of the Medicare benefits, which will kick in after 1 or 2 years if the Republicans, get, the White House, regain the White House with Trump. And then secondly, what you mentioned, or rather finally, about the pre-existing conditions. There is a discussion right now that if, Trump is reelected, he will also remove that. And what you said is so true, because if you've got COVID, in many cases with COVID, you have those lingering effects of COVID. Exactly. It takes months to recover. It's not, COVID has impacted every individual human being differently, okay? And some people, it's just a mild cold. But for other people, it's devastating. You can lose your life. You can have chronic lung issues. You can have debilitating conditions. So yes, absolutely. So the pre-existing condition, maintaining that protection for folks, and not just COVID, but let's talk about, folks with heart conditions or diabetes, or thyroid condition. Yeah.
There's so many. And even doctors got more coverage by insurance companies for Obamacare.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, here's the funny thing. Like I was talking to a doctor friend of mine who's a Democrat, but he's really smart. He's like, well, under Obamacare, I could actually bill more people. So my practice was flourishing because more people were covered under health insurance,
And
right?
that
It's like a
covers,
no-brainer for me. Like if I'm a medical practitioner, I am going to be in favor of Obamacare.
and that totally
So
covers the extra 3% tax that they might have to pay because they're mostly over 400K as well.
yeah, that's true.
You
That's
know?
true. But think about the other thing, and this is true for the small business owners as well, that if you have people who are healthy, who are contributing to the economy, they're actually enriching the tax pool. Okay. So the whole of society is lifted up,
Yeah.
right? Think about it that way too. Yeah.
And that's what we want. I love these
Yes,
last lines that you said. The whole of society is lifted up, and we cannot grow
absolutely.
unless everyone grows. All cultures, all kind of jobs, men, women, children, everyone grows.
Absolutely. People from all walks of life. And I think that's what the Democratic Party is about. You know, it's not a party of elites. It's not a party of exclusion. It's a party of inclusion.
Inclusion. So I would like to end this segment right here. Any last two lines that you have for our listeners?
Well, okay, as a South Asian and as a core member of Desi Blue, I must add that all South Asians need to vote and everybody needs to vote. My Latino brothers and sisters need to vote, but particularly since we're reaching out to our South Asian brothers and sisters, we're very proud, Seema, this year. We've had great efforts all across the US to get out the Desi vote. We are very proud of that. And I hope that everyone votes and have a plan to vote and vote early. Remember to vote early, okay?
Vote
Thank
early
you.
and in person. Thank you so much, Nidhi, for giving me your precious time. You gave us very valuable nuggets, and I will see you next time. I'll be back after the break with our candidate for Austin City Council, Pooja Sethi. So just hang on. Nidhi has a song for us. Which song did you want me to play for you?
It's called "How Do We Leave This World a Better Place?" I think that's the name. It's a song by a Southern artist. Thank you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.